Hello, we are back in Kerbal Space Program again, moving on from our first initial landing of the moon. And what I want to do is go back to the moon and kind of finish gathering up a few science things that we missed so that we can finish out this tier of research. You can see that we only have, about 5 things in tier 5 left, so 5 of 5 there. And at that point, after we research this tier, what I want to do is end up making and start worrying about maybe getting a small space station up in orbit, potentially some satellites as well. So I hope you guys look forward to that kind of stuff. But right now, let's figure out how we're going to get some more science from the moon that we did not get to last time. So what we need to do is we need to upgrade the R&D center. Now, this will give us off-world EVA surface sample capabilities and also resource transfer. I don't know really what that does, but hey, we can get it, so might as well. And now we have a bunch of new little outer buildings here, and everything's looking much nicer and a little bit more built up here at our base. So our missions currently retrieve science data from the moon. We're also going to get science data from space around the moon. And then we have this poodle liquid test at an escape trajectory out of the moon. So we're going to see, I think that's too big of an engine, to be honest. We might have to hold that off for now. So we're going to hop into the vehicle assembly building. And we're going to be worrying about getting our current spacecraft up to the task of landing on the moon. Now, the previous one, obviously, we were ferrying tourists there just around in orbit, and we're not going to have to do that this time. So we can save a little bit of weight and bring a little bit more science in doing so. So we're going to be able to bring an actual payload module here. So we're going to move this up just a hair. There we go. We can also bring a proper parachute, which would be nice. We might even need to add, I don't know if we need a drogue chute or maybe just 2 side-mounted parachutes here, because we will have extra weight when it comes down to it. So we'll just stick those kind of partly tucked inside so that they're out of the way and shouldn't burn up in the atmosphere. Let's go ahead and open our service bay and stick some science instruments in here. So we'll get probably 3 of each here, some barometers to start out. Also some temperature gauges, which will be fine. And then a couple goo canisters. Very standard setup that we have in here. Just gotta make sure nothing's clipping through the canister. We're good. And I believe, yes, so we'll go ahead and also input a battery just for some extra electrical charge, as well as a couple little solar panels. Now we're just gonna put this on the spine here, and these will burn off in the atmosphere, and to be honest, I'm fine with that. Let's see if we can't move that a little bit closer so they're a little bit more in line with the spacecraft itself. Doesn't look like it. Maybe if I turned off angle snap. There we go. Try and get that really close. Perfect. So there, now that the surface has some solar panels, we'll be able to maintain some electrical charge going forward. Beyond that, what we'll need to do is get the actual science bay here. And we haven't used this yet, and this will be the first attempt bringing this along. So hopefully we'll get some extra science from there, also EVA, surface sample, etc. Now at this point, we need to start worrying about the actual lander itself and how much fuel to bring. Now I'm going to over-engineer this. Over-engineering it is just makes this a whole less of a worry for me. And I think the easiest way to do that would be something like that. So let's get some connection points here. Okay, in fact, actually, let's move this in just a hair. Because what I want is a very flush spacecraft, you know. That's something that I really enjoy doing. Something very streamlined looking, clean looking. At least as clean as possible. Now, that's actually going to be a bit of an issue. We're going to have to do that, I think. Just going to cover up the vents, but really, as long as it's workable, I don't mind if it covers up the vents a little bit there. Okay, I just need access to our cargo bay. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do much science. We can't click on the objects inside. Engines! Looks like we're just going to go with 2 Terriers. So these are our 2 main pods. Also, we will need a heat shield down here. And also, let's see, maybe a radiator panel on both sides here. I don't really know what radiator panels do, to be honest, because it's an item that I never got to experience yet. But we'll get them pretty close. Now, it looks like they also take some electrical charge, but hopefully our solar panels will counteract those going forward. In fact, let's just verify that here. Electrical charge is 0.03 a second, so times 60, of course, is how many a minute you're going to get. Yeah, we're good. We're totally good on electrical power. So that is the lander and most likely the return vessel. Very standard stuff. The double engines will hopefully provide enough for us to make us land relatively quickly, and also we might be able to use the connecting stage from the moon to help us get down and potentially stop. Alright, stacked a coupler, just like so. So, building the rocket, standard stuff as always. We're just going to get, I believe we're actually going to upgrade the rocket size. So we're going with a little bit of a bigger rocket. And the last time we did unlock some larger fuel tanks. And really, I'm curious to use them here. Now hopefully this doesn't add too much weight, but really I'm not too worried about that. Worst case scenario, we just change that and how things operate. So beyond this main fuel tank, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some additional boosters to the sides. Now we did get these new larger solid ones, which are pretty cool. They're very streamlined, but I want to try and save and just use liquid fuel here. So we'll just pop in that and swing that around so we're nice and lined up. Are these centered? Yeah, for once they actually centered correctly. Not really the correct cone that I'm looking for. And engines, we will use probably just the swivel versions. And I'm pretty sure this will most likely get us to the moon, if you think about it. We have a lot of potential thrust going on here. Just to be sure, and a little over efficient, we'll do that as well. So the 4 outer engines gonna provide us with a lot of steering initially, and that'll feed into the main engine as well. The sides will fall off, and then we'll use the upper stage once we're at the moon. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we will give it a shot. I hope it works. That'd be pretty nice if it did. And those are upside down. Let's add the fins on the correct side. Okay, and you know what? Even let's do something a little bit special as well. We will try to potentially recover these. So on the break off on the sides, we'll deploy these parachutes as well. Where is the moon? It looks like it's one of those. We'll see it probably after we take off. So off we go. Wow, that was a weird launch. I think we got caught in the struts there a little bit. So that's gonna send us a little off course initially. And there you can see we're already at that 200 meters a second that we wanted. I think we'll have plenty of fuel to get there. There's the moon. It just appeared on the horizon. Looking pretty good there. Now the problem is going to be, we don't really have the solar panels in the sunlight right now, so we can't really do much about that. Let's try and get our angle pointed the right direction so that we can start our gravity turn. It's really fighting me. I really want to try and get as much speed as possible at this stage while I have all 4 booster engines with us, so we'll crank it up to full. Take a look at our map real quick. Uh-oh. Hold on. We're gonna spin around just real fast. There we go. Do a little 360. Jebediah is one to boast about his flying skills, so he's just excited to go back to the moon. So it's a little bit of a cheer, I would think. Let's set it a little bit higher. I want to raise our height a little bit more and then go full prograde, because that should push it out relatively quick and in one go. So let us see if that little flip or the takeoff messed up anything. Doesn't look like it. We can maybe adjust it a little bit so it's not quite 0.9, 0.7 I can live with. I think that's close enough, and we're just gonna be picking up a whole bunch of speed here in the upper atmosphere, trying to get to the moon. No, in fact, I can probably do a little bit of time warp here, just to speed things along. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now, how much fuel do we got? We got a little bit left in the engine here. There is our approach vectors appearing. Alright, what is our periaps at with the moon? Doesn't look like we have one, which means we're kind of crashing into it right now. So let's get one to at least show up a little bit there. There we go, 60,000. And we are on our way. Look at that, we're back in space. Jebediah is enjoying his trip, and we'll quickly just accelerate straight to the moon for the additional science. Now, I do need to go to Minmus at some point. Obviously, landing there is a lot easier than the moon itself, but the problem is getting there is a little bit more difficult. I mean, it takes a little bit more fuel, it takes some more rocketry, and also it's not in a nice parallel fashion with our orbit, so we would have to change the incline, which again would use a little bit more fuel than what we're doing now. Let's head in close. And, well, land. So I want to try and do this in one smooth burn, and also still use this rocket to slow us down a good bit on the way so that we can ditch it kind of last second into the surface. I think that's good. That's pretty good. Let's check our electrical charge, make sure we're not losing anything. Let's check this stuff. Energy flow is good. We're in the direct sunlight. And we are not gaining or losing any electric. So, there we go. I think these are idle because they're not really needed right now. Oh, I need to do, I need to do something here. I need to recover scientific data from around the moon. So the goo probably will keep that. We'll probably have to get that as we're leaving the moon surface. And we forgot landing gear. That's fine. We can land on our engine nozzles. I'm not too worried about that. We have kind of a wide base here. But I can't believe I forgot landing gear. Oh well, that'll be a problem we all have to solve as we come down closer to the surface here. About probably 10,000 meters, I'll start burning a little bit. And maybe we can... There we go, start burning. Get into this crater, that should be a nice gentle spot here. This lander looks ridiculous right now. It makes no sense why we brought this giant thing onto the moon's surface, but this is our return vessel as well, so we're gonna need as much fuel from that as possible. So as we come down, just 3,000 meters now. And we might be on a slight slope as well. Okay. And boom! That marks our landing site quite nicely for us. And again, touching down around 5 meters a second would probably be the most stable landing we could do. Let's switch over to just stability control. There we go. No. Tilt back up. Okay, so we're on the moon. We're safe. We're not really losing any charge. We're in direct sunlight, but we're not gonna have infinite charge here. So let's go ahead, observe some materials bay. 100 science, which look at that, that's great. Let's open up this stuff. We will log temperature. We've already done this here. Looks like log pressure data. Okay, we're not gonna get anything there. Let's do the goo. I'm pretty sure I have not done that on the moon. Nope, have not. We can do a crew report, which is not gonna get us anything new. Let's, oh, I forgot to upgrade the astronaut complex again. Can I do that and return here and let them come out? Let's try that. So let's go to the Space Center real quick. And from there, Astronaut Complex, upgrade, go back to said lander, and EVA. There we go. That's what I wanted. Boop. Use some RCS a little bit here. And land. So, Jebediah, first Kerbal on the moon. We will plant our glorious flag on the surface. Site name for... actually, Jebediah. Am I even spelling that right? I don't even think I am. No, I'm not. Oh, boy. Jebediah Point. There we go. So we're on the surface. We can hop around a little bit. Test the gravity out. We'll do an EVA report in the air. We'll also go ahead and take a surface sample for 120 science. From there, we can kind of, whoop, easy does it. I'm not quite used to monopropellant anymore. Climb. Store all the experiments that we can. Hop off. Real quick. And now do another EVA report while on the surface. So that is some extra science we could do. And board. Good. We didn't fall over or anything. We have a decent amount of fuel left, and these two engines should be very efficient at getting us home, I believe. Let's go ahead and close the doors here, just for heat reasons. We will also save. Take a look at final checks. Everything is safe and sound. We need to find a good moon-based landing spot as well. Maybe Jebediah Point. We might return here again later on in the series. Electric charge is full. We will now attempt to go home, also collect some science on the way out so that we are able to complete the other one, which is transmit or recover scientific data from space around the moon. Okay. We have ignition. Gaining altitude. And let's start our burn. Now obviously the closer I am, as long as I'm over the horizon line, I can do straight sideways here. As we attempt to leave the moon as quickly as possible. There we go. So we're out of the moon as influence, and we're back into space. Wow, we went from 0 to 765 meters a second real quick. Over the deserts of Kerbin. Waiting to see if anything explodes, because I would prefer it not exploding. We're actually looking pretty good. We might even land on the ocean, and the ocean landing, because we don't have landing gear, because I forgot that little bit of information when I was designing this stupid thing. I'm sure earlier in the episode, everyone was like, "Hey, Uthris, you forgot your landing gear. What are you gonna do?" Land on the engines. That's what we're probably gonna do. And then come home and hope for a splashdown landing, because that'll be the easiest that we could hope for as we proceed back through the atmosphere. I would time warp through this, but that jostles our ship around a little bit, and that would be probably a bad thing to do. Not losing any electrical charge. Our blade of material is A-okay. Wow, I just love these effects. In fact, if I go to the view here, you can see he's having a nice little look down of the surface, not knowing really what's going on the outside, and the fact that he's basically cooking alive for the most part. And I really hope these radiators work. In fact, I didn't even activate them. I don't even know why I brought them. But might as well turn them on. See what they even did, if anything. And we are exiting the heat. We can go ahead and shut them down now. As we straighten out, release all 3 parachutes. A little overkill, but I want to make sure this science base stays alive for this landing here. Now, isn't that pretty? Just the horizon line back there, the desert, the ocean with the repeating textures. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Oh yeah, 4 meters per second descent. And this is going to be very safe and a very slow, long descent here. But we can go ahead and talk about stuff that we might want to accomplish going forward. So next time, we might even take some more tourists to the moon. We could set up some satellites, set up a space station. You guys can let me know that down below. Of course, as always, your feedback is necessary for me to make sure you guys enjoy this series, but also I enjoy bringing you guys in and directing the series. You know, that is my favorite thing about YouTube, you know, sharing these experiences as I ramble on, as we're about to touch down. Jebediah, perfectly calm and relaxed. Here he is, touching down in the ocean. Perfect. And recover. Let's see the final results from our mission here. See if we lost money on this one. It looks like we did, but we upgraded 2 centers to do this mission, so we're back basically before the first attempt at the moon. We have 346 total science. Our crew, Jebediah, still on level 1 pilot. Let's check out the science center, see what we can get. Looks like we will be able to get about 3 choices here. 4 choices. So, advanced coupling and protective shells, things like that would be pretty cool. A proper landing can would be pretty good as well, and the RCS fluid, which is a must for setting up our space station. Also, the hitchhiker storage container, ladders and things. Advanced construction, propulsion systems. These would be great for our landers moving forward. We can get 2 more. And which one will it be? The large parachute. I don't even think I have the large capsule yet. Why would it give me a large advanced grabbing unit? I don't know what that is. That sounds really cool though. There's the advanced capsule. Some advanced landing gear would be cool as well to get some science, escape things. Tell you what, let's do that. Actually, we're short. We're short about 20 science or so. Anyways, so we got 2 more left in this tier, and then we can start working on tier 6, which looks like a whole lot of fun. This is definitely where you start really expanding your influence into space itself. So that is stuff that we're looking forward to. If you guys enjoyed today's episode of Kerbal Space Program, let me save our progress. Leave a like down below. Go ahead and leave a comment as well. Share it. Watch my other videos. And I will see you guys in the next episode.